following show is a paid program.
Hey family, how you doing? On today, we have one of the best people I know that talks about business credit. And a little later, we'll try to get Trey on if he can make it. But Darbi. Hey lady, how you doing? Just to talk about her just a little bit, she's helped over 75 entrepreneurs obtain $4.5 million in business credit and funding. And that's what, this year?
So that was the last quarter of 2019, but up to date, we've helped over 1,000 entrepreneurs.
Absolutely, lady. I am so excited to talk to you about business credit. We talk about personal credit all the time, and many of the businesses we know have issues now, especially during COVID, because many of them cannot either they're having problems with people coming in, they're having to close down, things like that. And unfortunately, the stimulus package did not have a lot of things for small businesses.
So the stimulus package did have a lot of benefits and advantages for small businesses. However, a lot of small businesses I know. And so what we're dealing with is the ignorance of like funding programs that are out here. And that's where my company comes into play.
Absolutely. Part documentation, you help and walk people through what we should have already known, I think, but being a small business, I mean, the funding. So the lack of the documentation was a strong thing that you have had to work through with many of your clients.
Yes, we work with companies, whether a company is a startup company, whether a company is established, and also we work with a lot of like gig economy workers, network marketers, because, you know, Mr. Cam, a lot of people do not realize that they're running businesses, even if you're doing business from your home. So one of the things that we do is help companies set up and establish their foundation. And then once we help a company set up their foundation, which includes, getting your paperwork in order, making sure that you're prepared for funding when it comes around, making sure that your business is legit on paper. Once we have that solid, then we start the business credit building process, and then we can go into funding, which a lot of companies are looking for.
I love that. Starting off, how did you get into the industry? What did you see that needed to help? What happened?
So actually, it started a long time ago, over a decade ago. I was mentored in the tax industry by one of my mentors, and he would mention business credit. He was flipping houses and into real estate. And so he was, just mentioning it here and there. And at the time, business credit was like the wild, wild west. I mean, so many people were getting funding. And so when he shared it with me, it kind of piqued my interest. And then, I left it alone. And then I asked him, well, how are you building business credit? What are you doing? And then he didn't share everything with me, but I'm the kind of person, if I just keep on asking, and I kept it at the forefront of my mind, then opportunity came. And then senior vice president of a bank actually taught me about business credit, why companies need to do it, and actually what the banks are looking for, and how like a lot of businesses, I think about 90%, well, I know about 90% of businesses don't really understand this concept. And so when my second mentor, the vice president of the bank, started teaching me, then I started just soaking it up and eating it up. And then fast forward to last year, in 2018, I was on the road. And then in 2019, I had contracted services out for someone to actually build up my company's business credit while I was traveling. And lo and behold, he didn't do the service. And so from that agitation, it was like, you know what? Truly separate your personal finances from your business. So, like your social security number is for your personal credit, your EIN number is used for your business credit. And so, to get into some steps that'll lead you up to obtaining your EIN, one of the things that you want to do is set up a unique business name. And then you want to get that organized through your Secretary of State. There are, companies out here who assist you in our software program. We have the exact step by step. And so in that foundational phase, you can either consult with us, or you can utilize a CPA, an accountant, or even an attorney to help you legally get your company formed. So you want to have your company documented with your Secretary of State paperwork, because that is what most lenders and banks and also creative financing companies are looking for to be able to determine the age of your business. And then once you have your Secretary of State articles, your articles of organization, if you're an LLC, or your articles of incorporation, if you are a for-profit organization, and even nonprofit organizations can build business credit. So whatever your formation documents are, you want to have those done and recognized through the state. Then once you have that done, then you can start, determining you can get your company's address. You can make sure that you have a dedicated phone number. You can make sure that you have your EIN number. And then you definitely want to separate your personal from your business by also having a business bank account that has your company's name and it has your company's EIN attached with that business bank account.
I love that. You have helped so many people with that part. The reason I say that is because the first thing we do is we mix it up. The money is going in our personal account, it's going on Cash App, it's going on PayPal, it's going with Zelle.
Keep it real.
We're doing everything with it. And then next thing they know, they say, oh, we've got to do, the IRS says, what happened when they audit them?
Yep, exactly right. And a lot of times, there's a couple of reasons why you want to separate your personal from your business. One is for liability. Yes. So when your business is set up and established in a separate legal entity, the way that this country is set up is that the laws are set in place for business owners. And we can even see, that as we've been hearing, about, our president's tax returns, or we hear about, Apple and how Amazon, doesn't pay that much on their taxes. They're not the only companies that are doing that. There are a lot of companies out here who are set up correctly, who have great CPAs, who understand the laws and are using the laws to their advantage. Mm-hmm. But you first have to be positioned. Yeah. And that's where a lot of small business owners just don't know. They just don't know that, I'm selling cakes. I'm delivering for Amazon. I'm driving for Lyft or Uber. And a lot of 1099 contract workers, business credit and funding is out here available for a lot of small business owners, and they're just not positioned correctly to get it.
And what I love about you in reading everything, and just you, Darbi, just your personality and everything, you freely give, but so many mm-hmm. people, and then you put so much back into your own company. You have your own app.
Yes. So that's exactly why we had to transform our name. Originally, when we started, we were an online coaching program known as the Business Credit Agency, and that we started June of 2019. And between June to October of 2019, that's when we helped over 75 entrepreneurs, secure a couple of $1 million in business credit and funding. And then we, started seeing like, wow, we're getting a large influx of clients. And at the time, it was teaching the course. And so I consulted with Adam. He's our CTO. And I was just sharing with him like, hey, how can we automate this? How can we make it easier for entrepreneurs? How can we reach more people to help them get to their goals? And I thought it was just, a CRM system, right? And so he was like, no, that's not a CRM system. That's actually a whole full software program. And you're literally changing your business model. But that's what I was seeing. I was seeing like, we're at the beginning of something that can really be explosive and really help multiple entrepreneurs at different levels. And so therefore, here we are today with BCA Culture, in which we created the app that literally walks business owners step by step on how to develop their foundation in the right order, and then where to apply for the vendors that will allow you to get credit without using your personal credit on the applications, and then how you can get into funding. So it's a whole nother world out here that's available. And these funding companies, they call my phone every day. They're looking for companies to fund. They're looking to give money away. However, most businesses aren't positioned to even receive it, which we saw with COVID-19 and the CARES Act with the relief fund. A lot of small business owners, particularly minority business owners, were not ready and could not receive the funds or were denied because they didn't have their paperwork together.
Absolutely. I was so excited just to see everything that you have in place for business owners, that people especially now. And the reason I wanted you on this time, at this particular time, 40 million people are unemployed that truly have a dream of entrepreneurship. Many of them do. but they just don't know how to start. But they've had to start because being out of work, you've had to do something for finance. So just like you
That's right.
said, people are making, cakes or desserts or whatever. They're actually, now COVID, we have masks, that we have to wear. And I've had a lot of people, doing that, but it has pushed us in such a way that they have become entrepreneurs. And with
Yeah.
your app, I'm telling you.
No, I'm saying is accurate. And what you just painted was what's happening in real time.
Yes,
And this message is so urgent, and you're such a visionary for, it's bigger than BCA culture. It's about what's happening internationally.
yes.
So see that, the whole, my mom's generation, I'm a millennial.
Mm-hmm.
My parents are baby boomers, the work in the 40 years, and,
Mm-hmm.
believing and hoping that 401k will be able to sustain your family is different now. We have turned into a gig economy society.
Mm-hmm.
We've turned into a self-employed society. And in order to take advantage of what's happening, companies just have prepared and have that paperwork in order across the board. So that way you can capitalize on these programs that are out here, funding programs, grants, government contracts, and opportunities. And it starts with your foundational steps of getting your business in order. So you're absolutely right, Cam, in reference to what's happening now, in reference to what's going on and how our society is changing. We are in a digital and an information age. And so a lot of jobs that once were have been extinguished. A lot of physical office locations have now transitioned into us working from our homes now. And so we have to transition and position ourselves to where we're the ones who are winning. And I think that's the biggest thing with this transition is how do I go from, a W-2 employee to 1099 or working my business on my own and then really be able to capitalize on those benefits?
I love that because you, my dear, have really been a pivotal part of this, just educating and making people understand because when you're in it at a W-2 mindset versus a 1099 mindset, which is self-employed mindset, you have to discipline yourself. So before most of us know about marketing, we know about, putting ourselves out there and networking. But before that, we don't have our paperwork in place. And I'm speaking more of us as minorities. We're not prepared in that way. So when funding and contracts come up, we just aren't prepared.
Mm-hmm. And you're absolutely right. And 1 in 6 businesses are shutting down according to SBA just because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the minorities. Only 3% of minorities were able to obtain the funding, whether that was through the EIDL loan, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, or whether that was through the Paycheck Protection Program. We call it the Triple P program. Only 3% of minorities out of that was a $2.2 trillion CARES Act. Out of that, $450 billion was
Yes.
allocated for small business owners. And you mean to tell me that as a minority business owner, collectively, we only received 3% of that? That is the huge gap of wealth and access to wealth and
Yes.
capital, because this is the name of the game. My degree is in international business and finance. I didn't learn about business credit in college, and I went to a majority white institution at the University of Tennessee, and not one time did I hear anything about business credit. However, once I started getting into business and really understanding business, that's when you hear about business credit. And, if you've never heard about business credit, don't be ashamed. We've worked with doctors, we've worked with lawyers, we've worked with successful multi-million-dollar organizations that had cash flow, went to the bank, couldn't get a loan,
Right.
they didn't have the credit. And they've been in business for many, many years. So our goal is to make sure that every underrepresented minority, male, female, Black, Jew, Gentile, Hispanic, I mean, across the board, are a part of that culture
Right.
of entrepreneurs who we can educate and enlighten about business credit. So now, when another opportunity for funding comes, or whenever you want to go out and get funding for your business, period, you're ready. And you can do it without using your personal credit.
Absolutely, because this is our time. This right now, in this moment, while people are sitting at home, this is the time that they need to start studying. They need to educate themselves as far as this is concerned, because the funding is there. But just like you said, banks are calling you saying, hey, we've got the money, because we have to understand they live off of the interest, not just the money sitting there.
Exactly. The banks make money when they lend money. And I think that's the biggest thing. Banks make money when they lend money. They're in the money business. With us at BCA Culture, our goal is to bridge that gap. It's to say, okay, well, you're a lender, you're a financing company, you're in a position to be able to reach small business owners. Then let us be the one that bridges the gap. Put out to entrepreneurs such as, yourself and others, hey, you can do this, and these banks want to give you money. I think people have been denied credit, or they're like reluctant of credit in a sense, just because of the lack of understanding. But when you begin to understand that with business credit, a lot of the how can I say, though, a lot of the ceilings that are in personal credit are not necessarily there with business credit. And what I mean by that is that on the personal credit side, you might get your starter, credit card for maybe $200, and you secure it. Well, on business credit, sometimes we have clients that are coming out in less than 30 days, getting $5,000, $10,000 available in a line of credit so they can use for their business to expand it. So the capacity for business credit is much more, and banks want to lend to small business owners because we're the ones who keep the economy going.
Absolutely. It's so many millions, like you said, that are available, that it's just like in the stimulus package. They put in the stimulus package the amounts that are in there, and like you said, only 3%. The first thing they say is, we put it there. You either use it or you lose it. That's always been the case. People say that, but they'll say, we put it there. We provided it.
Exactly. It's kind of like one of those things. How can I explain it? It's like an interview, right? A job interview. You got the position already, but you kind of have to go through the interview process so that everything can look right on paper. And that's the same thing with business. It's just changing your mind. Listen, you already have a business idea. You're already doing business. You're already interacting with customers and clients. You're already walking out the park. You just want to put the paperwork in place so that way banks can really see, okay, this is a legit business. And that is where, a lot of business owners, you might be missing it. It's just making it clear so the banks see, like, hey, I want to invest into this company. Not just banks. You have investors who look at business credit to determine if they're even going to invest in your business, because it is a common practice that if you are great with your business credit, then you'll be great with their investment. That's how they look at it. So if you're looking to have someone invest into you, then you want to have excellent business credit along with, your cash flow. Government contracting or even private contractors look and research your business credit to see how you're being a steward over your own business credit. Because if you're a great steward over your business credit, then to them it indicates, hey, this company will be responsible. They can use our money and they're going to leverage and go to the next level and produce a return. And we want to be a part of their growth.
I love that, because I keep thinking so vividly down in March, just the world, complete world was shut down. And one is several of the industries that I can think of that were very great friends of mine. One being hairstylists was a huge industry that was shut down. There was funding that was available for them. Unfortunately, they were just individual people not running as a business, and they couldn't get the funding, many of them.
So let me comment on that, because you know what, that runs rampant in our community.
Yes.
You know, we have the hairstylists, we got the barbers,
Yes.
you know, we got our friends that, you know, people out here selling they hustling the products and the waist
Right.
shaper. You know, they on OnlyFans. Y'all give me,
Yes.
look, hey, get it how you get it. But just make sure that, you know, if you have an OnlyFans account, or if you're an influencer or a brand, just set yourself up as a business. You know, Jay-Z said in one of his songs, he was like, listen, I'm not a businessman. I'm a business, man.
Yes.
And so he began to understand early on, like, when we look at, you know, empires, we're looking at brands. And those brands have a value. But in order to operate in this world that we're in, financing and business, everything works through contracts. Everything is on black and white. And so even, you know, when banks ask, hey, let's see your bank statements, that's black and white for them. It's not you saying, oh, I'm about to do this, I'm about to do that. When banks ask you for a business plan, that's making it black and white for them. And so a lot of hairstylists and barbers, one, missed out on the opportunity because they didn't realize that they were operating as sole proprietors. Number one. And so in the CARES Act and in the stimulus plan, there was provision for sole proprietors, and it was like $1,000 grant that they were awarding for that. But a lot of people did not. One of the things that I was getting a lot of, just real feedback, was I'm afraid to apply. And that right there, when I tell you, a lot of business owners, I mean, gig economy workers, they did not see themselves as business owners, although you're getting paid as a business owner.
Yes.
So changing that mentality alone for small entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, to understand, hey, I'm not just doing this for the gram. I'm not just doing this to gain likes and followers. I'm not just doing this to act like I'm running a business. When you really, like, you're selling hair weaves or wigs, if you're cutting hair on the side, you have a business. And so the mindset about entrepreneurship has to change. Even if we work with entrepreneurs who work full-time jobs and they have side hustles, they're still building business credit. You know, through our company, we have Ms. Davis. She secured over $25,000 in funding within a couple of months of being with us, and she works a full-time job. But her positioning and her thinking for her business evolved as she went through our software, and now she set it up, and now she has that cushion. She got grants, she got access to the SBA, loans. She's getting these things. She's getting her business credit set up, and she used that in addition to her full-time income.
I love that. Like I said, I was so happy to bring you on. Even nonprofits. Many people do not set up their 501c3, but they are doing nonprofits. They're giving back. They're giving out food. They're giving out clothes. They are, helping even, in October is breast cancer and domestic violence. They're helping with that, but they're not set up with their 501c3. So they don't get the funding because many people want to see that. How are you set up? Exactly.
You hit the nail on the head. I mean, it's almost like it just makes it plain. You got to think. Let's talk, right? Can we talk? Can we talk?
We can talk, Darbi. Can we be real, right?
Yeah, let's talk, right? So it's like me. Let's say I come to you and I say, hey, Cam, I'm in a situation.
Right.
I started my business, but I need to borrow about $20,000. And if I come to you, just your natural instinct, what would you want from me if I'm asking you to borrow money?
I'm looking for, look, we got to find, why are we doing this? What are we doing? $20,000. You want $20,000? What you doing with $20,000, Darby?
Exactly. So if I come to you and I'm asking you that, and and it's human nature to want some type of documentation.
Yes.
When you're going to use other people's money, when you're going to get a loan, when you're going to get grants, you want to track it. You want to account for what you are getting as a loan, you want to account for what you're borrowing. Like, you want to account for those things so that way banks, lenders, investors, contract opportunities feel comfortable with investing in you.
We can still go on with her. Yes, Darby, you are off the chain. I'm telling you. And then you have new products that are out. Payroll, you talk about equipment. I mean, you really educate each person.
Yes. So in our software, for those who are watching, you can go to www.bcaculture.com. That's bcaculture.com. And when you go on there, complete your analysis form. Just a couple of questions just to see where you are in your business. We want to get to know you digitally and see how we'll be able to help you through that form. And through that form, there is a BCA score that's produced. The BCA score recommends levels in our software for entrepreneurs for you to be able to start. So in the products and services that we're offering, based upon your BCA score, based upon where you are in your business, whether you're a startup business all the way to a corporation, that's going to determine what parts of the software you get access to. So that's what we have, as you were saying, the payroll, having the equipment, car lease and purchase. Those are available for companies at certain levels when they're ready for that. So we do offer, we teach companies 3 stages. 1 is your foundation. 2 is building business credit. So there's levels in business credit, and there's a certain order that companies want to apply. And then 3 is the funding phase, the high limit credit cards, access to car and vehicle purchase and leasing in your company's name. That's, if you ever going to rent a rental car from Enterprise, if you open up their glove department, you can see that the car's name is in the company's name. It's not under a person's name. So these are examples of how you can leverage, and you can do the same thing with your business. You can go out and purchase vehicles. There's certain companies that will loan to you specifically when you have your business credit built.
Absolutely. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with Miss Darby.
We'll be right back to the Cam Hill Show after these messages.
Ron Carter Cadillac, Houston's only Cadillac to your door dealer, delivers test drives to your home or office, like the new 2020 XT4 Luxury Collection, only $299 a month. The new 2020 XT5 Premium Luxury Collection, $399 a month. Or the first ever 2020 XT6 Premium Luxury Collection, just $499 a month. All for 39 months lease with just $1 down. Or purchase and choose 0% APR for 60 months plus $2,000 bonus cash with no payments until March 2021. Visit RonCarterCadillac.com.
I'm a Texas voter.
And I plan to vote
by mail-in ballot.
I'm a Texas voter.
And I plan to vote safely in person.
I'm a Texas voter.
And I plan to vote early.
I am a Texas voter.
And I plan to vote safely in person. In this coming election, voters aged 50 plus
will make all the difference.
Will make the difference.
Will make the difference. Will make the difference.
Will make the difference in elections across the state.
So make a plan now.
So you can vote however you choose.
It doesn't matter
where you vote,
how you vote, or who you vote for.
What matters.
What matters.
What matters.
What matters is that you have a plan to vote.
For more information,
head to
aarp.org/tx.
Vote.
Vote. Vote.
đi bầu cử.
और वोट करना मत भूलिएगा.
Vote.
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 唔該去投票.
When it comes to protecting yourself and your partners, all the information out there can be overwhelming. Visit our website. We are a free and confidential service striving to help you stay informed and stay notified. We are committed to a healthy Houston.
If you helped a friend get a job, and once they were hired, they ignored you, what would you think of them? For a quarter of a century, Congressional District 18 has voted for Sheila Jackson Lee. And what do we have to show for it? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 13 times, she's got to go. I'm Wendell Champion, and I need your vote. Visit me at champion2020.com. I'm Wendell Champion, and I approve this message.
Hello again, Stafford. We are extremely proud of the diverse community we have in Stafford.
We need you to get out and vote for Cecil Willis.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, truck accident, car accident? Was someone texting and ran into the back of you, not paying attention? It doesn't matter what it is. Give me a call, Attorney Willie Powles. We'll fix it today. The number is 281-881-2457. Again, that number is 281-881-2457. We'll fix it today. Call Attorney Willie Powles.
And now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Hey, we are back with Darbi, and we were just finishing up just a little bit about business credit. And Darbi, we have had so many people, send questions. They love what you're talking about. One of the big things is gig workers. So if someone is out singing in the different restaurants, or they're singing in some of the clubs, at this point, a lot of them have been closed down during COVID. So they were not able to get some of the funding as a sole proprietor because they were not set up.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and you're right about that. What I would do is that if I was a business owner who's a singer, or you were affected by what's happened, starting today, I would change my posture and change my position and make sure that I have a business set up. I mean, that's the best way to do it. And nowadays, you got to pay to play. You have to invest into yourself. You're going to have to set up your company, put your brand out there. And you know what's happened, though, Cam, as a result of people getting their business credit and getting their business in order, they have seen an increase in their profit and revenue. And it's just amazing, because it's like the more you get organized, the more you're saying to, God, to the universe, to, a greater power, to order that, hey, I'm ready for this next level. Things are in order. And so now you can be entrusted with more. And we've seen that happen time and time and time again with our clients that, have been getting their businesses together, and they've been increasing their revenue just through going through our program.
Absolutely. I do agree with that. And I've seen that. I've seen that blessings that have been stored for people, but they don't have the ability to receive them because it's not set up.
Exactly.
The blessing could be set up for them, but it's nowhere to put it, because the business is not set up. That's gig workers. I've seen authors that have written books and they haven't been set up, but they'll be trying to sell the book, but then they're not set up. Bartenders, and I'm just saying, all of this happening in COVID, many of them just have not been set up and have not been able to receive, but those blessings are waiting, but it's nowhere to receive them.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, you're hitting the nail on the head. And what we're dealing with is just mindset. Someone who, who has a TV show, who is an author, who creates movies, you might have the gift of gab, and you might, be someone that can post and publish people's brands. Those are businesses. Those ideas, turn your ideas into profits. Those are businesses businesses. And when you separate your personal from your business affairs, the doors just open up. I mean, it's just amazing that, and it's like the law of order. You know, it's like God saying, "Oh, okay, y'all ready to go to the next level. Okay, you've gotten this together. Okay, bloop, here's more clients. Here's more opportunities. Here's more offers. Oh, okay, here's a grant. Here's this, here's that." Because you have not only what you're praying for, but you're doing it in the natural. And when you have those two things that come together, then you can create some real traction.
Absolutely, because he always says take dominion, and we can't do that if we're not prepared.
Yes. And that's one of my, I love to say that's one of my things, not just to say it, but to be it is less dominate.
Yes.
Let's dominate. That's a collective term because we do have the power. We have the power to create. And so through our companies, through our gifts, through our talents, we have the power to create. If you're an artist, if you have the gift of beauty, people knock, the women and the men who set up, their online accounts through OnlyFans. But hey, if that's your gift, listen, put it in a business, get paid, build your business credit, get funded and do it some more, just, if you're an influencer, you have a YouTube show and it's making money, it's out here for you.
It is. It is. Also daycare. I mean, now that it's come to the point where people are having to be at home, some are still out working. Okay. So what do they, many of them are unemployed. So what do? Since the first thing a family member will say, "Oh, you're not working. I'm just going to drop the kids off at your house."
They surely do.
You got a daycare.
That's right. You got a daycare. That's built in invoice. That gets back to what we're talking about. Just if you can be organized, and if you don't know how to be organized, hire out and outsource. Kim, a lot of business owners think they're saving money by not getting help.
Yes.
But a lot of times you're costing yourself money when you don't invest into the help that you need. So a lot of the things that, we teach in our program, and that as you go through the software, is once you get to certain levels, you have to begin to outsource. And this, your show doesn't just run through you. You have a team because you are the show, and your team is also inclusive with that. You, as business owners, have to get a team. And so, we could be your extension in your team for business credit. You can have someone else who does your accounting. Get people who are experts, who don't know, what you know, but that can take you to the next level in your business. And I think that's a huge thing that small business owners overlook. They're skipping over, the dollar, trying to save a dime by not hiring or not outsourcing or not paying the pricing to go to that next level. And it's like, no, invest in yourself. If this is true, your business, invest into it.
Absolutely. I love that. And I love, Darbi, that you do help with collaboration. You help with them to make them understand they can collaborate. I know a lady that maybe she's cooking in her house, but it's gotten overwhelming to where now you would need a commercial kitchen. And someone else has a commercial kitchen they're not using, that type of thing. And just putting them together and making them understand the mindset of a business.
Yes, it is interesting that you hit that. We have a young lady that went through our program at the beginning of the year. People weren't cooking. They weren't going out to eat either. So she started making up them plates, Cam. She could throw that out. And that plate business started kicking off. And it was starting to interfere with her full-time job. Do you hear me?
Yes.
And so she told, she asked her boss, and she did a consultation with me. And I was like, well, if you're going to be selling plates, you want to make sure, that your position, because when you start dealing with food and hair products and stuff, you really have to be careful.
Temperature.
Yes, with those industries, making sure it's, fresh, and everybody's stomach is different,
Yeah.
And so you hit it on the head. She partnered with a commercial kitchen. They already had the credentials. She partnered with them and then just used that spot as a pickup location for her business. So, right, you have to be creative. You got to collaborate. I mean, some business owners are willing to even barter services with you. Others, are not. But what I would say is, when someone's an expert, when someone is great at what they do, then you pay that price and you make that investment into yourself, because that's pennies compared to your return.
Absolutely. I love your app. I love what you do as far as just the education of it. We've got to get our paperwork, family, in order. We've got to get our paperwork. That we lack. That's where we lose everything. We're not prepared. When opportunities come, we just are not prepared.
You know what? And that was the motivation. I knew that for me, back in 2019, operating as the business credit agency, there was only so many business owners I could teach.
Yes.
And I'm glad that I went through that. We started with a small group of entrepreneurs, the 75 entrepreneurs, because through that, it allowed me to see that all entrepreneurs are not on the same level.
Mm-hmm.
Hear me out on this part. It doesn't mean that an entrepreneur is greater or better than you if they have their stuff together. Sometimes they've just been in business. They might have been mentored, by someone in their industry who taught them the ropes. So from this broadcast on the Cam Hill Show, don't feel bad if you don't have your paperwork together. But when you find out that it's time for you to get your paperwork together and you choose to stay the same, then that is the mentality and the mindset that costs future wins, or cost future funding opportunities, or cost future grant opportunities. And what I want to say is that most entrepreneurs are at different levels, just point blank, period. One entrepreneur you might be watching and you're a startup. And then even before a startup, you might be watching this and you want to start a business, and we call you a wantrepreneur, right? And so you're in a good space. You want to start a business. And you want to, do it the right way, we can assist you with that. There's some entrepreneurs who, are established, they have trade lines, they're making money, they got, money in the bank, the COVID has done them well, but they're looking to grow, and scale up. And so there's different phases for different entrepreneurs, and that's why we have, the startup level, a self-employed level, a business owner level, and a corporate level, because each entrepreneur at each stage, as you evolve, you have different needs. And that's the same thing with us as humans. What I need today, the woman I've become, is different than who I was 10 years ago when I was, asking one of my mentors, hey, can you teach me this industry? So who I am today evolves. And as entrepreneurs, give yourself that grace to evolve.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's also talk about, before getting out of the way, about the fact that where they need to go, what aspects as far as where to find you, where to find your app, how to get in touch with you, things like that, because I've had so many people say, Cam, we need to get educated.
Absolutely, absolutely. So to get you go to www.bcaculture.com and go through our website, do your analysis, connect with us. We can be found on all social media outlets as BCA Culture, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest. You can just do @BCA Culture. And on our website, you sign up and access an account. The sign up process is pretty smooth. It's simple. It's straightforward. You just fill out the form, you verify your email and confirm it. And then once you do that, you go through the steps, you choose your startup level. And when you check out, you set up, at the point of checkout, you set up a consultation. So once you've checked out, we'll do a walkthrough and an orientation with you at the point of checkout, and then you set that appointment up. But we're accessible. We also have a Facebook group, BCA Culture Community. We have Facebook page. I mean, we're across all platforms as BC Culture. And again, our website is www.bcaculture.com.
And I wanted to get that out early because I wanted to let people know how to get in touch with her because of the fact that Darbi is an open book towards business credit. She has really, at any phase, it's many people that are out there now, COVID hit. So they really were on top of their game, but COVID has now hit, and now they need the funding to keep going.
Right. You're absolutely right about that. You got some people that when COVID hit, it propelled our businesses, and you got some people, it drowned their businesses. And so for those of you that's still on the rafter and you're like in between and you're like, ooh, we don't know how, look, we got the pandemic, we got a couple of pandemics going on. Cam, we have the economic pandemic where more and more companies are beginning to realize inequalities. The banks, even the CEO of Wells Fargo made some statements, and now they came back and was like, we set up a fund to be able to assist Black business owners and minority business owners because we realized that our funding programs weren't always available to those our businesses. And so we also have the other pandemic. We have an election. Built-in program that's already ready for you.
Absolutely. Let's get that website again. What would you like to leave with the viewers?
I would say during this time, stay encouraged. We're getting into the holiday season, and a lot of times the seasonal depression, you start reflecting over the year and thinking of things you shoulda, coulda, woulda, and didn't do. But I want to just encourage you all today to not be down on yourself. Don't feel bad. If you were ready before, get ready now. Go to our website, bcaculture.com, and only believe. Only believe good things will happen for you in your business. Only believe that funding opportunities and business credit is available for your business, and do the necessary work that it takes to reach your vision and your goals.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, lady, for everything you are doing. You're on top of your game, lady. I appreciate you. Shout out to Ebony Porter Ike, EPI Media. She is on top of her, and LaShondra that's over there, for introducing us.
Yes, I thank you so much. You know, Ebony, she is our publicist and PR, and she and her whole team, super grateful for the opportunities. We just were featured in Sheen Magazine. I mean, Ebony is on fire, and a lot of companies are truly hungry for business credit. So I want to thank you for featuring us on your show as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, lady. I appreciate you. Much love and God bless. And I know we're going to send everybody over to you, lady, so get ready.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. In any way that I can be of assistance when this COVID ends and we're over in Houston, Texas or anything, we'll definitely love to do that.
All right. Talk to you soon. Okay, on tomorrow, we will have Dr. Matthews and Natalie Nicole, 12:30 to 1:30 Central Standard Time. Bye.
The Cam Hill Show. If you'd like to advertise your business or become a sponsor, contact the Cam Hill Show at gmail.com.